والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Tonight, bismillah, we will continue reading the basic, simple beginner's fiqh of Al-Hajj and Umrah. From the small, beneficial manual called Fiqh Made Easy, Taysir al-Fiqh, or Risalatun fil Fiqh al-Muyassar, of Dr. Salih Sadran. Khayr, inshallah ta'ala. I believe we left off in the book, the English version, or excuse me, the Arabic version. We were speaking about the Arkan of Hajj and Umrah. The Arkan of Hajj and Umrah. And once more, as we've stated before and explained before, what's meant by the word Arkan is the plural of the word Rukn. Ra, Kaf, Nun. Arkan is Hamza, Ra, Kaf, Alif, Nun. Like Arkan of Islam, pillars of Islam. What's meant by this word or these words, because we don't want to just record and regurgitate information, as many of us do. The pillars of the Salah, and we memorize them. They're 14, they're 13, they're kada, they're this, they're that. What is a pillar? What do you mean by pillar? You know, a pillar. Pillar of Salah. No, what is it? I don't know what you mean. The average person, at best, who's memorized them and has been taught them or heard in a book or read in the translation, Muhammad al-Dohab, Arkan al-Salah, he does not have an understanding of what the pillar of a thing is. What the pillar of a thing is. So when we talk about pillars of the Salah, then we mean the following qualities. Number one, pillars of Hajj and Umrah, following qualities. Number one is that thing is mandatory. It must be done. And if you leave it off, you're sinful. Number two, that thing, if it's left off forgetfully, intentionally, unintentionally, then the act of ibadah is null. The act of worship does not exist. I made Hajj, I spent money, I suffered, I walked, me and my wife, we were sick, my old father, but you miss out on a pillar of Hajj, you have no Hajj. Period. You get a reward for other things, inshallah, for walking and your feet were hurting and this and that, but no Hajj. The third quality of the thing that is a pillar, a rukn from Arkan, is that it is actually an internal essence of the thing. It's an internal component. It's not before the act of ibadah. It's not done after the act of ibadah. But it's actually performed inside of the act of ibadah. But rather, it is a staple component of the ibadah. It is something that supports it. It's a bone in the rib cage of the ibadah. It's not on the skin. It's inside, holding up, supporting, protecting the breastplate. Am I clear on this? No, I'm sorry, is that right? Everyone understands? It's protecting the vital what? Organs from behind. If you don't have no ribs, what can that? So, number one, a pillar of the salah, a pillar of marriage, a pillar of anything is that thing is recommended. It's preferable. It should be done, right? Right? Huh? It shouldn't be done? It's still preferable. Just because it's mandatory doesn't mean that it's no longer recommended. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Allah says that's best for you. We have Iman in Allah, fighting His cause, spending His cause, that's what? Best for you. And Iman in Allah is wajib or not? It's wajib. But at the same time, it's still a good thing to do. But clear, no more tricks. What's important is what? Is that act of that thing, whatever that thing is now what I will say, you gotta do it. There is no, I'll do it later. No. Number two, that act of worship is what? Or that thing is what? If you leave it off, then you don't have no what? No ibadah. Period. Forgetfully, intentionally, there's no Hajj without the pillars. No Salah without the what? Pillars. So number three is what? Is that it's inside of it. It's not before. It's not after, but it's what? So what's the difference between, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you say internal component? What's the first thing you think of? I saw that. The sister or the cousin of a pillar is what? Is who? What's her name? What's her name? She has a name. This is Umayma, and her sister is what? Her cousin is what? Shart. Shurut. Prerequisite. Condition. I mean, we here or not, guys? I don't think we are. Right, Tyler? The first thing that you should be thinking about, if you understand what's going on, is that once you hear the word rukn, pillar, and we use the word inside, internal, that's mandatory, that you have to do, you can't leave off. The very first light bulb that should pop on is what? Because the prerequisite is a cousin of the pillar, but it's a bit different. It comes from what? Before, and it's not a part of the thing. It's not an internal component. It's not an actual piece in the middle, dead smack of the ibadah. You have to make wudu before salah. There is no wudu in salah. You have to keep the wudu in the salah, but there is no evolution in salah. You've done that. It's done. Finished. Facing the qibla. You turn in that direction before what? Wahakada. Now you keep doing it, but there is no looking for the qibla. Have I done this? You close the clean before the what? Salah. And it cannot be soiled in the salah. But the look or the searching for cleanliness began when? Before. But the shart, the prerequisite, the condition is also what? Mandatory. You have to do it. If you don't do it, then what? So from that aspect, it's directly related to the what? To the pillar. The pillar and the shart, the shart, they're what? Cousins. Everybody understand this? This is Rubab and this is Umayma. They're cousins. Everybody clear on this? There's a bloodline, but there's a bit what? Different. Everybody clear on this or not? You got this or not?
You say first cousins?
First cousins, no doubt, very close, but fine difference. Most people, if we say at best, who memorized them, who took classes, they are not critically what? Having the ability to know what it is. The shart comes what? Before. A job description is not a prerequisite for the job. To get the job, you have to have a high school degree or GED to get the job. Once you get the job, that is not a part of your what? Job description. That's not what you do. That's how you got into the job. Everybody clear on this? But both of them are what? Mandatory for you to get paid, for you to get that check. That check. Adam? Government cheese like yesterday I sent. So everybody understand this or not? Everybody got this? This is very important for us to have these things on our minds. What? Crystal clear. Not just skimming off the surface. What? Crystal clear. So a pillar of a Hajj means something that you must do during Hajj. You have to do it. And I forgot about it. I didn't have enough time. No Hajj. Everybody understand this? Everybody understand or not? The act of ibadah is inside of the Hajj. You can't do it in America. You can't do it later on. It's what? In Saudi, as they say. Everybody understand this? In where?
Saudi.
Not Saudi. I never said that.
Saudi.
I said Saudi. Tayyip. Everybody clear on this. That's what I said. Everybody understand this? Number 3 is what? It's actually a part of the Hajj. In the middle of the days of the Hajj. Now, moving forward. He says the pillars of Hajj and Umrah, which we explained. He says that Hajj arba'atu arkan, 4 of them. وهي الإحرام والطواف والسعي والوقوف والوقوف بعرفة فلو سقط ركن بطل الحج. He says there are 4 pillars of Hajj. Number 1 is Ihram. Ihram is not a recommended act. It's not just a mandatory act. It's not a prerequisite. It's a what? A pillar of Hajj. Number 2, a tawaf. Number 3 is sa'i. Number 4 is wuquf bi Arafah. Standing at Arafah. Being at Arafah. Flying over Arafah. As some ulama mentioned from the modern day issues. You could be in a helicopter. You can be what? In a helicopter. Whether you're king of the country, you're a prince, you're a leader, a high-ranked official. We don't go with the poet, what he said about high-ranked officials. Everybody understand this? Or a person could be, you could be working on Hajj. You could be doing a documentary on Hajj. This is reality. This is not some far-fetched sci-fi. This is real stuff. You could be doing a documentary on Hajj. Or you could be working with the Red Crescent, which is the equivalent to the Red Cross overseas. The Red Crescent. the medicine. Yeah, you could be working with the people, and you have to do what? Fly above. There's too many people down there. You have to get a good picture or a video, or you may have to fly to one part to the next of Mina or Arafah. You ever understand this? In a helicopter. Or the governor, the king, he can't be among all of the people. Someone try to assassinate him. Everybody understand this? So he's in a what? A helicopter. And they say the modern day issues, the nawazil of Hajj is that if he says if the tayyara, if the tawafa, the marrat bi Arafah, if it passes through Arafah for a second and hovers for a minute, that's what he did. What he stood by Arafah. He sat at Arafah. Everybody, this is not a joke. This is real. This is what? It's real. And we just mentioned those examples. They're not just jokes. You could be doing what? A documentary on Hajj. You're working for the Red Crescent. You're helping people out. And at the same time, I'm also what? Performing Hajj myself. But I do not have the ability to be at Arafah and stuck in the crowd. So we do what? Like that. So they say if you did it for lahza, 1 second, then that's what? You were at Arafah. No questions. Move forward. The author he then says, Ar-Rukn al-Awwal, or he then says after that, he says, so if you leave off one of the pillars of Hajj, then is what? There's no Hajj. Batal al-Hajj. Move forward. He says, وَلِلْعُمْرَةِ ثَلَاثَةُ أَرْكَانٍ وَالْإِحْرَامُ وَالطَّوَافُ وَالسَّعْيُ فَلَا تَتِمُّ إِلَّا بِهَا وَتَفْصِيلُ هَذِهِ الْأَرْكَانِ عَلَى النَّحْوِ التَّالِي. He says, as far as Umrah, then Umrah has 3 pillars, which are Ihram, Tawaf, and Sa'i. The split, the fork in the road is what? Arafah. Hajj, Umrah, there's no what? There's no Arafah. Everybody clear on this? And the author did not mention shaving or trimming the head for Umrah. He didn't say that's a pillar. That's something different. He says, and we will explain these with the following detail. Let's go back and let's read this now out of the English translation. Riyadh or Talib, Fadl. We're on page what? 101. For anyone who has the book, whether you have the hard copy, you can find the book online, the PDF is well and circulated. Inshallah, you have it, Abdul Khawi? Yes. So, excellent. Fadl Talib.
The essential components of the Hajj and Umrah. There are 4 essential components for the Hajj. Entering the inviolable state.
You need a mic, Akhi.
Yeah, you guys pick up.
Gotta have a mic. Huh?
You gotta have a mic voice.
It's one mic.
I'll have a mic.
Bismillah. Yellow.
Sit next to Mufti. Sit next to Mufti with the mic. Sit next to Mufti.
It's okay, Akhi. Just read it. We want your voice right now. Inshallah.
There are 4 essential components for the Hajj. Entering the inviolable state, circumambulation, sa'i, and staying at Arafah. If any of these acts are not performed, the Hajj is not valid. Umrah has 3 essential components. Entering the inviolable state, circumambulation, and sa'i. It is not complete except with these acts. The details concerning these essential components are as follows. The first essential.
The author he then says, الركن الأول الإحرام وهو نية الدخول في أحد النسكين الحج أو العمرة بعد التهيؤ للإحرام والتجرد من المخيط. We explained that last class. Then he says, moving on to the next section, واجبات الإحرام. What are the things that you must do with regards to your ihram? What are the necessary acts of ihram? It's a subcategory now. You have the brackets, then within one bracket is another. Why did that? Branches off. Supposed to have your mind chart. We explained that months ago. We did what? Months ago we explained that. And Lulu Marjan. The Sahihain classes. Moving forward. The author he says, أولا الإحرام من الميقات والمكان الذي حدده الشارع للإحرام بحيث لا يجوز تعديه بدون إحرام لمن كان يريد الحج أو العمرة. Okay, he says the first. We'll get to the translation. ثانيا التجرد من المخيط فلا يلبس الرجل ثوبا ولا قميصا ولا برنسا ولا يعتم بإمامة ولا يغطي رأسه بشيء كما لا يلبس خفا إلا أن لا يجد نعلا ولا تنتقب المرأة ولا تلبس القفازين. التلبية ويقول لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. يقولها المحرم عند الشروع في الإحرام وهو بالميقات لم يتجاوز. ويستحب تكرارها ورفع الصوت بها من الرجال وتجديدها عند كل مناسبة من نزول أو ركوب أو إقامة صلاة أو فراغ منها أو ملاقاة رفاق. وتقطع التلبية في العمرة إذا شرع في طوافها وتقطع في الحج إذا شرع في رمي جمرة العقبة. تفضل.
The first essential component of the Hajj or Umrah is entering the inviolable state. It is the intention to perform one of the types of pilgrimage rituals, Hajj or Umrah, after preparing to enter into that state, removing any sewn clothing. The obligatory aspects of the inviolable state. The obligatory aspects of the inviolable state are three. Entering into the state at the proper place. This is the place that is designated by the lawgiver to enter into the inviolable state, such that it is not allowed to go beyond that point without being in that state for whoever wants to perform Hajj or Umrah. Removing all sewn clothing. Men are not allowed to wear gowns, shirts, head caps, or scarves, and in fact, the head should not be covered at all. Similarly, they should not wear leather socks unless they cannot find sandals. Women are not to wear face veils or gloves. The talbiyah. This is the saying of Labbaik Allah, Allahumma labbaik, labbaik Allah, la sharika laka labbaik, inna alhamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika lak. O Allah, here I am at your service. You have no partner, here I am at your service. Verily all the praise and the grace belong to you, and the dominion as well, you have no partner. The pilgrim states these words when he enters into the inviolable state at the appointed location before going beyond that point. It is recommended to repeat these words over and over, and for the men to say them aloud. One should start saying these words again at every moment of descending, riding, before the beginning of the prayer, after the prayer is finished, and so forth. During the Umrah, one discontinues saying these words when he starts the circumambulation. During the Hajj, one discontinues saying these words upon the throwing of the pebbles of Al-Aqaba. Al-Aqaba.
Right. It says here the things that one must do with regards to the Ihram. He says there are three. Three mandatory acts with regards to the Ihram. Number one is to make the Ihram, he says, min al-miqat, from the specific location, the center, the spiritual checkpoint that you are not allowed to pass, to transgress, unless you have entered into that state, the inviolable state, the Ihram, the sacred state, the holy state, the haram state. You're not allowed to go past this checkpoint, this borderline, this area, unless you have officially entered into the Haji zone, the Haji mode. Everybody clear on this? Clear on this, Jose? Clear. Everybody understand this? You're not allowed to go past this point unless you're in the what? The state of Ihram. Unless you're in the what? The state of Ihram. You cannot walk past, fly past, drive past, swim past this area unless you're in the state of what? Ihram. If you intend to make Hajj or Umrah. Everybody clear on this? He says is the place, is the zone, the location that has been laid down and explained by the Shari', the lawgiver. It's mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the people of Yemen, the people of this country, the people of this zone, the people of this sector, وَهَكَذَا. Allah said, the Prophet says, these places, mawaqit, are for the people. وَمَنْ أَتَى عَلَيْهِنَّ. He says, and anyone who passes by them. مِمَّنْ يُرِيدُ الْحَجَّ أَوْ الْأُمْرَةَ أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Moving forward. He says it's unlawful to go beyond this checkpoint for those who want to make Hajj or Umrah. Everybody clear on this? Number 2, he says at-tajarrud min al-makhit. It's for a person to strip him or herself. Literal translation, to become naked from makhit. To avoid, to remove anything which is makhit. It says in the English translation, sewn garments or stitched garments. Now, that's not necessarily an accurate translation at all from the translator at all. Rather, al-makhit, there is no one single unanimous definition of what it is and what it isn't among the fuqaha of the past. And some of them they say, وَالثَّوْبُ الَّذِي صُنِعَ عَلَىٰ عُضْوٍ. الثَّوْبُ الَّذِي صُنِعَ عَلَىٰ شَكْلِ عُضْوٍ. It's the garment that is tailored for a body part. The garment that's tailored for a body part. Everybody understand this? And it has nothing to do with stitching. That's inaccurate translation. That's ghalat, khata. That's wrong. It has nothing to do with stitching. It has to do with the style and the fashion of the garment. In other words, I have a thobe right now. This thobe is a tailor-made thobe from Medina, made in the Saudi style. We normally wear Kuwaiti style. This is Saudi style. So can I make ihram in this?
No, sir.
Yeah, you're both wrong. I can take this off and I can wrap it around my waist. I can take this off and I can put it on my torso. And it is my clothing of ihram. Even though it clearly has what, Adam? Stitches. But I cannot wear it in the normal manner of a what? Saudi thobe. Collar, buttons, pocket, or hakada. Everybody understand this? But if I took it off and flipped it topsy-turvy, I could do what? And that's my ihram. So makhit is not stitching or sewing. Al-makhit is the fashion and the form. Everybody know this? I can take off a shirt and make it into an izar. As long as I'm not wearing it as a what? A shirt. My pants are not allowed to be pants on my 2 legs. My waist, my belt. Everybody clear on this or not? So you put on the izar and you put on the rida, which are recommended. The izar and the rida recommended for them to be clean, for them to be white. What's important is that you don't wear the what? Makhit. They don't have to be white. They don't have to be what? White. You can make ihram, you can make hajj with a what? A navy blue izar and rida one. People want to look at you crazy. They're going to say, haram, haram, astaghfirullah. No, but it's not what? Not mandatory. Everybody clear this or not? So al-makhit is not, no questions. Allah is perfect. No questions. We mean that. No what? No questions. We say what? That the makhit, the word makhit is not just meant what? Stitched. Everybody clear this or not? Khairan inshallah. This is going to become very clear in a second. He says, so you're not allowed to wear the makhit for men. Women are supposed to wear their normal, legitimate clothes. Their normal what? Legitimate clothes. Some women, you go on a Hajj and Umrah, you see them wearing all white. You see them wearing types of terry cloth or types of Egyptian cotton, types of cotton that looks similar to an ihram with a little lavender tinge to it. The Bengali cotton. You ever got a kameez back in the day? From the store with the oils and the incense? It's a white kameez, but it has a little bit of what?
Color to it.
It's a little purple lavender tinge. Maybe this is...
I've seen it.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm not just making
I've seen
this up.
somebody with a ihram that's colorful.
No doubt. That's how I was back in the day in Philly. In the early days, you know. If you had a duffer thobe, a Saudi thobe out of a box, you were the man. No doubt. Just one pen, one Chinese pen in your pocket. French, German, Chinese pen. You were like, what? No doubt. Everybody understand this? No doubt. Okay, this is back in the day, And if you had a duffer thobe on that been a little wide, or paid $50 maybe out of the box, $60, big gigantic plastic box with the heavy buck on it, duffer. You put it on, you were what? No doubt. If you had a tailor-made thobe, from Ihsan, from this one out, you were like, Ibn Taymiyyah. No doubt. Ibn Taymiyyah. Parker pen, Ibn Taymiyyah. You like, taller than Ibn, just because of the thobe you got on. It was nothing like how it is nowadays. Brothers, they import loads. It was not like that back in the day. That gradually, Everybody clear on this? So what's important is oftentimes brothers that didn't have connections with brothers that were overseas, okay, that went to Medina, went to Mecca, brothers were teaching Riyadh, but you just were a normal Muslim. You didn't know about, the Salafi Dawah and this and that. You didn't know this brother, that brother, but you wanted to look like a Muslim and wear some Islamic clothes. You go to 52nd Street in West Philly, and you go to the incense store, the oil store. There's an older Bangladeshi brother, maybe him and his wife in the store, and they have different qamises, some thobes, but there's no Saudi stuff. And oftentimes you get a white qamis, a white thobe, and it will have a little what? You know what I'm talking about, Adam?
A little bluish.
It has that whole. It's not pure white. Nah. You wearing a little scarf, some incense, some oil. No exotic Saudi oil, no Gulf oil. Kush, Somali rose, Blue Nile, Nam, Tunisian, French, everybody say, I had a whore. This is reality, Mawa, things like this. So at the end of the day, the makhit is what's meant by the makhit is what?
Formed.
And not stitched. Everybody clear on this? Moving forward. The author, he says, so a man, not a woman, he said what? A man. That's what led us talking about the purple white. Now, was you see many women from different countries, they have on Hajj libas. They have on Hajj ihram for women. And that's not the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's only for what? Men. It's only for what?
Men.
Only for men. He says a man is not, listen carefully, he says, thoban. He's not to wear a thobe. What's meant by a thobe? Does he mean a qamis, a Saudi thobe, a Kuwaiti thobe? He says, wala burnusan. He's not to wear a burnus, meaning a hood. No hoodies on Hajj. He's not to wear what?
No hoodie.
Hood, whether it's black hoodie or any other color. Tell you. He says here, no garment that you can wear can have a what? A hood. He says, wala ya'tam. He says, nor a turban. Wala yughatti ra'suhu bishay. Any head covering. You're not supposed to what? Cover the head. All for men. He says, nor are you to wear khuf, leather socks. Unless you only have what? Leather socks. You don't have the actual sandals to wear. They have to cut the khufs beneath the ankle or not. That's another issue. He then says, and a woman is not to wear the niqab, nor is she to wear gloves. She's not to wear niqab or gloves. It does not state that she cannot cover her face. It does not state that she cannot cover her hands. But it states that she is not to wear a specific article of clothing. And that is a niqab. A niqab is different than a veil. It's different than a burqa and things like this. It's different. Niqab is a specific type of garment that is what? Udu. Form. And the gloves are also what? The gloves, where are they supposed to stop? With my hair, short gloves, or are you supposed to wear gloves up to the front?
All the way to the elbow.
All the way to the bicep? To the shoulder.
Motorcycle pattern on it.
Allahu Akbar. Inshallah. Some brass knuckles too? What's important is what? Is that he doesn't state that she can't cover her hands, but if she can't what? Or gloves or niqab. Everybody clear this? Which goes to show you that it has nothing to do with stitched. Khayr, inshallah. There are countless issues pertaining to this, such as the whole concept of wearing gloves and the niqab or covering the hands and the face. As we've explained in many lessons before, what many people say is mandatory to wear niqab. Sister asked me the other day, brother, is it obligatory to wear niqab? You may hear a student of knowledge and imam say niqab is mandatory. The niqab is not mandatory. Gloves are not mandatory. Those ulama who hold that view, support that view, they say covering the hands and the face. However you what? Do that. Everybody clear on this? You cover the face without a what? Niqab. The hands can be covered without what? Gloves. The ease of the niqab, the simplicity of the niqab, the simplicity of the gloves, that's a different story. But that's not the hukum shar'i. That's not the what? That's not precise. That's not what? Razor blade sharp. It's a bit dull. But currency doesn't cut what? That close. When you say niqab is not what? Mandatory. Those ulama, they say that covering the what? Face is mandatory. Another very important issue, side issue, is if you say that the face has to be covered, then also applies to the what? The digits. The what? And they have to be covered. Everybody clear on this or not? Because those ulama, they say that a woman is what? Awra. And nothing is to be seen from her body except for that which is a necessity, such as one eye or two. Everybody clear on this? And if that's not the case, if she can see with the screen, then she does what? Full screen. Everybody clear on this?
No.
So the hands are like the what? Face is zina. It's beauty that is not to be revealed in front of a non-mahram. So many sisters say you have to cover your face, but no. Everybody clear on this? You can't see my face, but you can see my henna design. That's what? That's wrong. Everybody clear on this? Everybody clear on this or not? Everybody with me or not? In other words, it's one or two madhabs. The first madhab is what? I would say. No. No, Nuriad Island. It's very simple, guys. Either you cover everything, or you say that the hands and the face can be what? Shown. Everybody clear on this? Once more, for all listeners, it's very important for us to be what? Clear what we're saying. Everybody understand this? Once more. The ulama, one or two views. The first view that everything on a woman is what? Awra. When she leaves her home, she is not allowed to show her hands or her face or her feet. Wala shay. Except for illa ma dhahara minha. That which is a necessity, a need, and that which she can't hide. We have a sister that's tall. She can put on 50 garments. It's going to be clear. She's 5'8", 5'9". She's a tall sister. A sister that's short, 4'11", 5 feet, 5'1". She's going to be what? Short. A sister that's thin. She's going to be clear that she's what? Thin. A sister that's big is going to be clear that she's what? Big. She can't do nothing about that. Everybody understand this?
No.
So everything must be what? Covered. Except for a necessity, and except for that which she cannot what? Hide. Whatever the case may be. That's just an example. Everybody understand this? And the other ulama, they say that a woman, everything on her is awra except for ma adal wajh wal kaffayn, except for the hands and the face. Everybody understand this? So if a sister wears the niqab and she doesn't feel that it's wajib, but she thinks it's a good thing to do, she has the option of not covering her hands. Everybody clear on this? Because it's preference. I want to make 2 rak'ah for Taraweeh and not all 8, not 11. It's my what? It's my preference. I'm going to do what I want. I can pray half the Taraweeh and I can leave. Or I can do what? Pray the whole thing. Or not pray at all. As the ulama say, إِنَّ الْمُطَوَّعَ أَوْ الْمُتَطَوَّعَ أَمِيرُ نَفْسِهِ. The one who's going to tatawwa is the leader of himself. You can do whatever you want to do when it comes to something that's what? Recommended. It's very important, guys, for every layman to understand this. Number 2, the sister who says that I have to cover my face. I read the book of Sheikh Uthaymeen, Sheikh Ibn Baz, Ibn Taymiyyah, this one, that one. She puts on the niqab, but she has her hands out. Whether it's hidden on her nails, fingernail polish on her nails, gold, whatever. She is what? In what? She's in error. She's in what? She's in error. And she's supposed to do what now? Cover both. Hands and the face. Everybody clear on this? There is no floating around in the middle opinion. The face without the hands. La. It's that simple. Everything or everything except for hakada. Everybody got this? This is very important for us to understand this. There's a lot of ignorance and a lot of misconception. A lot of misconceptions that have been floating around for years. Khairan, inshallah. The next concept is those who say that the gloves and the niqab is not from the sunnah. It has nothing to do with the deen. And it's only a custom of the Arab people. Why do the ulama of Islam explain this? What is this based off of except for the hadith? In which is narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, وَلَا تَنْتَقِبُ الْمَرْأَةِ الْمُحْرِمَ وَلَا تَلْبِسُ قُفَّازَيْنِ أو كما قيل في هذه الرواية حديث ابن عمر هذه اللفظة الشطر الأخير. So they say that wearing covering the face is not from the deen at all. It's bid'ah. And that's another mistake that we have to point out, as the brother said last night, ahl bid'ah. And many people, they say that's wrong. It's one or two ways of saying the word. Bid'ah, singular. Ba, del, ayn, ta. Bid'ah. With the kasra under the ba, and the sukoon on the del, And obviously the ayn has to have a fatha. Any letter that comes before tar marbuta always has a what? Fatha. Bid'ah. Ahlul bid'ah. Or you're going to say bid'ah. A kasra under the ba and a what? A fatha over the del, not a sukoon. Bid'ah. Bid'ahun. There is no bid'ah. 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 You put a fatha on it. Bid'ah. That's wrong. I don't know how a graduate from the Islamic University of Medina, College of Hadith, can speak Arabic so poorly. Wallahi, I don't. It's not being funny or taking a stab at anybody. I just don't comprehend it. I have a graduate from College of Hadith, basic grammar. Whereas another brother said, he wasn't a graduate, he was a dropout. He said, what? Al-Qawaid al-Arba'ah. This was a big lecture he was in. He says, Al-Qawaid al-Arba'ah. Al-Qawaid al-Arba'ah. Without a tap on the end. That's basic stuff that you learn in the language program. That's the ABCs. If you're a native speaking American, that's like a foreigner coming up and say, you say what? Say anything that's common that people say. They learn English as a second language. And you will laugh at. Or somebody's automatically a foreigner. The English ain't that good. So what? Gives me the kiss. Give me the... He says to his daughter, right? Gives me the kiss. Instead of give me a kiss.
Give me the kiss.
The kiss. Or they say what? They put an S on something that's not supposed to be what? Such as what? Give me an example.
Liquors.
Liquors. Liquors? What you mean?
She drink liquors.
Liquors, okay. But liquors. What's important is that it's not about the person being Shakespeare. Okay, but basic what? Everybody understand this. So how can you say something like that? You're supposed to be this prestigious person that studied and graduated and learned, let alone talk about other people and refute other people. Everybody clear on this? That's something seriously wrong. And we have the famous cliche, don't throw rocks if you what? Live in a glass house. Some brothers, they have slingshots, like Bart Simpson slingshot back in the day. And we said last night, you pelt a stone at them, they what? You're slandering the brothers, astaghfirullah, you're slandering the Salafis, you're this and that. And they launch boulders at other people. And Allah will always expose a person who looks for the mistakes of others. As the Prophet ﷺ is quoted to have said in the hadith Ibn Umar, the Sunnah of Nasa'i and others. He says, وَمَنْ تَتَبَعَ عَوْرَةَ أَخِيهِ مُسْلِمٍ تَتَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَوْرَتَهُ. He says, وَمَنْ تَتَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَوْرَتَهُ يَفْضَحُهُ لَوْ فِي جَوْفِ رَحْلِهِ. How can I call it? He says, and anyone who follows up the faults of his brother, his Muslim brother, Allah will follow up his faults, his awrah. And anyone who Allah does that to will be exposed. Anyone who Allah does to will be what? Exposed. I mean, in the Salaf they would say, as Ibn Rajab quoted in his book, Afaq Bayn al-Nasihati wa Ta'ir, they would say, what? Man hafara li-akhihi hufratan lam yamut hatta yaqa fiha. He says, anyone who digs a pit for his brother will not die until he himself falls therein. Anyone who sets a trap for his Muslim brother will not die until what? He's going to fall into that pit. One way or another. One what? One level or another. Everybody understand this? So before we start talking about Islamic sciences and this and that, get your Arabic together. Learn how to speak Arabic. Before you want to talk about this hadith science, you can't even talk properly. You can't count to 12 without making a mistake. Let alone the Quran, let alone other things. Everybody understand this? There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't talk about other people. Don't try to disrespect other people. Everybody understand this? Khayr inshallah. Move forward. So he says here, or we said that what? Many people, they think that wearing the niqab and the gloves, okay, is a bid'ah. They say it's not from the deen. It's only a custom of Saudi people. Obviously, that's not scientific. That's wrong as well. And Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, who was from the, no doubt from the most, the people of today, of the ulama, sunnah, hadith, he was one of the most popular, one of the most famous protagonists of what? Of the what? The people who propagated the view that it's not mandatory. Shaykh al-Albani, from the most famous of them of this current time. Yet and still, his wife and his daughters and his children, they used to cover their hands in their face. And he would say, just because we don't believe it's mandatory doesn't mean that we're saying it's not what? From the deen. Thank you, Taller. Just because we hold the view that it's not wajib doesn't mean that we're saying that it's what? From the deen. as many people may say mistakenly. And you can get on YouTube and you can watch lectures of doctors, Arab-speaking people. They give a whole big long argument that it's not from the deen to cover the hands and the face at all. It's nothing more than the custom of the ignorant Bedouins in Arabia. This person has not read books of the ulama of the past. Khairan inshallah. Moving forward, there are other issues as well. Number 3, he says from the things that must be done with regards to the ihram, the wajibat al-ihram, things that are wajib in ihram, he says is the talbiyah. Is that you must say the talbiyah. You must say the what? The talbiyah. He says, and it is the statement when you say labbaik Allahumma, he says labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, and alhamdu wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. As we read the translation, O Allah, I'm at your service, I'm here in your obedience, time after time. Indeed, all praises are for you. From you come all blessings. To yours is the dominion, and only to you, and you have no partners whatsoever. It's a major concept of Islam, is that Tawheed is not something that Ibn Abdul Wahhab brought. Tawheed is not an invention of the Najdis. It's not an invention of Saudi Arabia. The Prophet ﷺ is clearly saying what? La sharika laka. He's declaring Tawheed in his talbiyah. So you cannot come and say that the concept of Tawheed is a new thing. And there's no such thing as Tawheed and this is a lie. That's foolishness, as some people may say. And one of the greatest lessons of Hajj is the establishment of Tawheed. And Hajj was only initiated by our forefather, who was the father of the people of monotheism, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And his entire mission from A to Z was based off of Tawheed. To establish Tawheed and to abolish shirk in all of its forms and images. Whether it's the worship of the sun and the moon, the worship of the stars, the worship of spirits, the worship of deities, the worship of the angels, the worship of righteous men and women, or whether it's the worship of money, the worship of dunya, the worship of sex, the worship of shaitan, as the new taghut today. He won't bow down to a grave, he won't make tawaf around a grave, but he makes tawaf around a bank account. No doubt. He worships his desires. This is a reality. You become a slave of money, and you don't even realize that you worship money. Money becomes your deity. Moving forward, the author, he says, the muhrim is to say this, he's supposed to make the talbiyah when he begins his ihram, and he's at the miqat. He's not supposed to go past the miqat without saying the what? The talbiyah, and also without getting into the state of ihram, and also without clothes. Everybody clear on this? At the miqat, before he moves past the what? Past the miqat. Everybody understand before what? So in Medina, Adam, most brothers from America, they come in and make tamattu, right? And they make umrah from Medina. So where is the miqat in Medina? Where is the break-off point at that masjid? Is it the beginning of the masjid? Is it the wudu station? Is it when you get on the bus? Is it when you can't see the minaret anymore?
I don't know.
Where did you make it at?
At the miqat, I guess. Once we get back on the bus.
What is the miqat? That's the question.
I don't know the name of the area, but you drive like 15-20 minutes and from Medina.
The masjid, Dhul Hulayfa. You talking about the same thing, Adam?
From Medina, yeah. Before they head out to get to Mecca, it's like 10-15 minutes from your hotel.
Is it a masjid or not?
It's a masjid there.
I didn't
Like,
get the masjid.
what you think, Umar?
It's a masjid.
Without any doubt.
It's a masjid there.
I would say there's a khilaf on it or not. But there's a big masjid dead smack at the place where you're supposed to.
Yes, it is.
No doubt. No what? No doubt. No khilaf about that.
I've been inside all the
Right.
time I've been there.
طيب, let's move forward. As they say, what? Move along, right? Say what? Move along. طيب. Move forward. Moving along. The author, he says what? He says you're supposed to make the talbiyah when you make the ihram, before you go past the miqat. Moving forward, he says وَيُسْتَحَبُّ تِكْرَارُهَا. Now he's going to talk about the recommended acts of talbiyah. Number 1 is to repeat it. It's to keep saying it. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Not to say it once, but do what? Keep saying it. It's mandatory to say it once. Recommended to say it. On this, similar to the concept of Subhana Rabbil A'la, according to those ulama who hold to you that it is mandatory in the Salah. One forward. Number 2, he says, "What to be having a rijal," and for men to raise their voices. And for men to raise their voices. What do we understand from that? Waste.
Saying out loud.
Saying it out loud, not to yourself. Right? What else? Excludes women. Women are not to raise their voices with the talbiyah, according to the author. According to the author. Tayyib. Number 3 is what? That it's not mandatory to do it, but what?
Jama'ah.
He didn't say anything about the Jama'ah yet. He didn't mention the Jama'ah yet. He didn't mention the Jama'ah, not yet. Not yet. We're going to get there, inshallah. That's an issue in itself. Nafis, is it permissible? Is it from the sunnah to make the talbiyah collectively? You're on a bus. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Inna alhamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk. La sharika laka. You can feel the energy on the bus. It's like the bus starts bouncing on the road, no doubt.
A mic on the bus.
A mic on the bus. That's a nice buses. The new ones. There's some buses you may get on. It's like a camel. Oh yeah, we talked to the Hajjis back in the day. My father, he told me when I was younger, he said we made a Hajj on a cheese bus. Oh yeah, he said there was a brother on the bus that had hemorrhoids, and every bump and jump he cried out loud. You ever sit in the back of the cheese bus? I was saying, all the way in the back, and you boom. It's like a roller coaster every time. Yeah, a cheese. Maybe the young guys, they may be too young for a cheese bus. No doubt. A lot of them in school nowadays, I get picked up in that, right? A tour bus. Back in the day, it was a Uber, huh? 2017. Back in the day, it was a what? Cheese bus, huh? That long, you might have your knees in no space. It's rough. Remember that vinyl? You can scrape.
We'd be lucky if the bathroom works.
Bathroom on
Ain't no bathroom on no cheese bus.
The buses are like the hung buses where we are really.
No, Sheikh.
Big, like one night.
There's no Greyhound bus, Akhi. A cheese bus. It could be white cheese as well. But it's yellow, provolone, So a cheese bus. Right, Nafis? Back in the day, no, Sheikh. Back in the day was what? Cheese bus. Or maybe a modern day bus, but there's no mic on it. You have a mic on it and a karaoke, that's like
Karaoke.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the karaoke box. I thought, wherever you go. Tell you, what's important is I don't know what the brothers and sisters in UK have. What they call it? Do they have a yellow bus? And do they call it that? They call it a cheese bus. They may call it something else. Yeah. Right. So what's important is what he says. What he says, raising the voice for men. Is it permissible to make the talbiyah collectively? Or is that a bid'ah? Everybody understand this? Can we do it together? Or can one say that you can do it together if it just happens, but not intentionally? That's a field of study with regards to the rulings on collective dhikr. The rulings on what? Collective dhikr. That's a long discussion in itself. We won't get into that right now. Moving forward, he says, he says for men. So we understand that the author is saying that women should not raise their voices with what? Talbiyah. They should say it to themselves. Right? According to the author. So what's correct? Is it the sunnah? Can you do it? Can a woman make the talbiyah aloud? And obviously this ruling or this view is based off of another concept. As we say, from one thing you know 10,000 things. Is a woman's voice considered awra or not? Is a woman's voice like her face and her body?
No, sir.
Everyone understand this? Is a woman's voice like her hair, and which is not to be uncovered, is not to be heard unless it's a necessity or need? Or is a woman's voice not an awra? But the awra is when the voice is perfumed, when she sweetens it up and softens it up, she's blushing, as some brothers may say. Everybody understand this? Or what is actually being said? calling and asking to speak to someone, I need to speak to the imam, or flirting. Flirting with the sister or the imam. The brother said on Friday, he said, the brother, he spoke to a sister and he smiled at the sister. Everybody saying this? He said it was flirting before he gave the khutbah. He was flirting with an older sister. What's important is what? Is some of the ulama, they say that a woman's voice is what? It's awra. And it's not to be heard, it's not to be raised, unless it's absolute necessity. And other ulama, they say the exact opposite. That a woman's voice is not an awra. It is not an awra. Unless she's talking soft and sweet. Everybody understand this? But just her normal voice is not considered a what? An awra. Now, moving forward is, if it isn't an awra, does that mean that a woman should just be over boisterous or just talk loud and be loose and talk with men unnecessarily? That's a different what? It's a different issue, right? That's a different what? It has to be some type of shyness, some type of middle course. But it doesn't mean that a sister can't speak to a man that isn't her mahram based off of whatever she needs from that man. But it's Assalamu alaikum, I have a question. The supermarket, the butcher, the sister lost the keys, Omar. Everybody understand this? Right. Moving forward. That's what I'm able to say. Allah knows.
Thank you.
Only Allah knows. I walked in the middle of it. I don't know what happened. He's about to beat up his sister today, I'm saying. Outside the masjid, no doubt. Yeah, he's refuting his sister. I was saying, listen to me. Yeah, may Allah help us all. It's like, moving forward. He says here, now, one may say, what's the proof for this? Can we say that we can just restrict things that Allah and His Master didn't restrict? It's a very important concept. With regards to a woman shouldn't do this, but a man should. And the Prophet said he made just what? Legislated it without specific detail. That's a huge problematic issue in fiqh and madhabs. Moving forward. He says here, it's also recommended Abdul Qawi to renew the talbiyah. To renew the talbiyah. He says, Kul munasaba. Anytime something comes up and pops up, you should do what? Renew it. He says, sin, you go up a hill, you go down a hill, after the salat, you stop, you eat, you make wudu, you rest stop, you get back on the bus to do what? Crank it up again. Everybody got this? He says it's recommended. Everybody putting this or not? He then says, Rahimah, in Fiqh of Hajj, he says, or if you meet your friends, you meet new brothers, you meet a new Hajj group, He says, and as far as making umrah, then you stop making a talbiyah when you begin your tawaf. When you start the tawaf, that's when you do what? Stop it. So according to the office speech, you will make talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, from the time the bus stops. You get off, you take your bags off of the bus, you wait, you check in at the hotel, you go up the steps, the hotel, the elevator, all the way to the what? Tawaf. Not just the Kaaba. You see the Kaaba from a far distance, then you stop it when you do what? When you make the tawaf. Another ulama, they say other than that as well. Move forward. He says, as far as Hajj, then the talbiyah should be, after not beginning the talbiyah, stopping it. That's what men say. What? Stopping it. You make it all the way from the hotel to the tawaf. He says, as far as Hajj, then the talbiyah should be stopped when a person stones Jamra to the Aqaba. The Aqaba Jamra. What is the Aqaba Jamra?
Big shaitan.
The big shaitan.
Big pillar.
How many are there?
3.
3. And Aqaba is the biggest one? Which one do you do first?
The little one.
Aqaba first? And then the other 2?
The small one first.
Small one first.
Small. Big, medium, small.
Right. Inshallah. We're going to stop here tonight. I believe we've run out of time. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah bless you all. I hope that any brothers or sisters who plan to make Hajj, inshallah, they can benefit them and help them out in their journey. May Allah give them a safe passage to and from and accept their ibadah. I mean, Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention, and for your respect. What time is it now?
9 was 10 minutes.